Hello, everybody. How's it going? Good, I hope. There we go. No more beautiful background music, just little old me. So, hope everybody's doing all right this glorious Monday evening. And it's glorious because you're here with Minutes with Milo. And this is the second in a series that I thought I'd put together about, I call it stonework. I guess you might call it something else. Hard work, unbelievable work. Why would you ever do it work? But anywho, whatever you call it, I think it's really interesting. And why is it interesting? Well, you'll find out. There's Robert. Hey, Robert. So if you're catching up with us and you're new to the channel, I'm up to 93 subscribers, which is totally awesome. So check it out. Look at my other videos. I actually just uploaded a new video. Hey, Craig. A new video that I made Sunday evening, edited it, and I use that term loosely because I just stick them together. And I'm not as always, but mostly it's a cooking video. And I made pizza casserole. Why? Because you throw all kinds of stuff in a pot and you mix it together and you make a casserole and you bake it. So I thought, why not pizza casserole? I like pizza. So check it out. I mean, I don't think I'm really letting the cat out of the bag or anything to tell you. It's basically an upside down pizza. But I thought it was interesting, so I did it. And I just got it uploaded like 5 minutes ago. And it's under, if you look at playlists, it's under, what is that? Odds and ends. It's under odds and ends. So anyway, this little series is about fascinating, what I find fascinating, things that people have done, civilizations have done with uh, stone. Not just rocks, not just pebbles, but like mountainsides. So the first one was, Mount Rushmore, carved in granite here in the States. So the next one is it's in India, and I'm going to call it the Kailasa Temple. Kailisu, something temple. But anyway, I saw this, as I do lots of things, just on Instagram or Facebook, reel or advertisement or whatever. And this was the one I think was the kind of the kickoff point. Is like, how many of these things are there? You start thinking about what of people not made of stone, and I consider like the pyramids made of stone, but what have they taken and carved out of stone into stone? We had this discussion last time, and I still don't know which one's the right term. So this is a temple, and I'll just bring it up. We'll start talking about it, looking at it, and it's Hindu, and I'll have to read this goddess's name that it's for, but it's probably not going to help me because, let's see, where is it? Might have to do this. Let me get that over here. Now, why doesn't that let me? If I do that, that's just me in there. Let's try it again. Browser has blocked my screen. Why would it do that? Select the window. Maybe? Is it because of... See if we can do it this way. That's it. Allow that. And add to stream. I don't know why. Okay. So this is just the search window. I couldn't get it to present it any other way. Let's see. As always, we'll go to Wikipedia and see what it says. That may not have very good pictures. I'm going to have to put my eyeballs on so we can look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. See these names? I'm sorry, I just can't pronounce these names. We're going to have to go to some other place. The one that I wanted was part of it was this one. Let's see what happens. Does it kick me out? All right, this is on Board Panda website. So here's an overview of it. Kailasa is a temple that was carved back in the 8th century and dedicated to the Hindu lord Shiva. And this is pretty cool. The entire temple was carved into the mountainside out of a single rock. Now it says that. Yeah, Robert, it says made from one stone. I'd like to know how they define stone. Could you say that about, Mount Rushmore? I mean, Mount Rushmore is carved into a mountain, the side of the mountain. But would this be considered a single rock? Because it looks like they carved it into, it's got an even lower level. I mean, it's just awesome. This is kind of interesting. So for scale, these are people. So it's not like a a big rock. Yeah, a huge rock, if that's the deal. So, they're up 2 floors. Maybe this might even be 3 floors. It's in a pit. I call it a pit because this is the temple, this is the side, and then under here is this part. Can you see back up in here? It's kind of hard to see, but this is the shady spot. So you're looking down on it. Now it looks melted here. To me, the only thing I could think of is all the years uh, has just have just worn it down, so the edges are no longer crisp and sharp. So Robert, you think the Sphinx is one limestone chunk? Is that? I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard that. Hey, Cleo. So, all right. So the Sphinx is out of one big rock. That would be a big rock. This, I think, is a mountain. Maybe they call it a rock. Do you think that? I just can't believe that they dug out and found this huge rock right in the middle of it and started carving. But it's out of lava, volcanic rock. And the reason I like this site is because it has some pretty good pictures. It believed that the temple was built in less than 18 years. Says it should have taken centuries of human labor to finish, but it's believed that the temple was built in less than 18 years. The other side said 20. So let's just say 20. This is kind of what I alluded to the other day when I was talking the other show, when I was talking about how would you, as the person that thinks of this temple, and let's just say you had 20 good stone masons, carvers, sculptors, how would you ever, without drawing each individual piece and say, I want it to look like this, and then give it to them and let them run off and carve it? How would you ever coordinate that? How would you ever, work and then trust them to do, what they're supposed to do? So Robert, Sphinx carved from limestone. This was carved from the top down. Right, right. So they didn't work on it. Maybe they did. I can't say they didn't work on it, all at once. I mean, so take what I learned from Mount Rushmore. Let's just say the guy was standing on the ground and everybody was huddled around him, and he drew squares in the ground in a big horseshoe shape and said, I want you to cut this horseshoe shape, but leave me these squares. And we're going to start from there, straight down like the Washington Monument. And I know they've got a name for that kind of stuff, but just straight down. And you carve straight down on the sides. And you take out everything around these squares. And I don't want anybody to mess up and take a chunk out of one of these squares, or, you know what I mean, rectangles, or whatever shape that he draws out there, because this is going to be the rough shape. And then once they get that kind of rough idea, then he sets people into carving. Okay, you're going to carve this lady here, this elephant goes here, there's going to be a column here, and then the doorway and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Because see, it's just crazy the way the mountain rolls along this side. And then they cut, like I said, straight down, just like they had a drill, like you see alongside the interstate. Just like choop, 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 blow it out. And it's nice, straight up and down vertical walls. And then, they start carving. So when they say, let's see, the entire temple is one of the biggest structures in the world, similar in size to the Taj Mahal. I was thinking that. I said, man, this looks like the Taj Mahal. It's been so long since I've been there. But when they say that, I'm assuming they're also talking about these areas underneath here. There's kind of, this is the rock, and then there's overhang. Now, this is something. So this is, like I said, this has pretty good pictures. The other site describes what this is. And they're, for lack of my better term, yeah, probably no dynamite. That had to have been some Chinese characters there to show them what gunpowder was. But now this site, I think this was the one. It has a little more, I guess, detail, you would say, on the whole process. Or over dozens of years, until under several rulers, out of a single piece of stone. It says more than 20 years here, and he makes a reference to over dozens of years. Is that 2 dozen? That's 24. Is it 3 dozens? Under several rulers. And that's another thing that I've often wondered. let's say I'm old and I'm worried that I'm going to get into Kailasa or whatever they believe. Right? I'm a Hindu ruler. And it's like, dude, I better do something quick, because in, a few years I'm going to be dead. So I'm going to make this temple and I want to dedicate it to this God, whatever. Maybe he'll save me and take me to Kalabashka. So it gets started and it's going pretty good, you know. And I've got young ones that are coming up. They're going to be the next ruler. And I fall off the chariot one day and get trampled by horses or whatever happens, elephants, right? So now I'm dead. My heirs may say, well, it didn't help him, so I'm not going to finish the stupid thing. Why would you continue on with this? Or it's like, well, Dad wanted to do it, so let's just go ahead and finish this thing if we can, right? I mean, or you get killed by your rival. You don't have any kids, and he says, he started that. I'm just going to tear this thing down or fill it in with sand and start my own. Yeah. So this one, Clell's talking about all the stuff that was left over. World's largest monolithic piece of art. And I'm guessing that's just solid piece, one big piece made into art. Carved a gigantic structure from a single piece of solid rock in a cave on a mountainside. The entire building took more than 2 decades to carve. There are plenty of other mind-boggling facts about this ancient wonder, while some of the history behind the temple is a bit controversial. But so now, see, it says from a single piece of solid rock in a cave on a mountainside. Man, I just have a hard time picturing this in my head. Did they go into the cave? Let's see if I can find one of those other pictures. That's a lot of the artwork. I don't want to scroll through it, but you saw how it was before. It slopes down on, like, we're on the end right now. We're on this end down here, and this is still covered in rock. Is this a cave? And you go into the cave and it's like, oh crap, man, look at this big old rock. I better walk around this. I just don't see how they figure that, how that could be possible. Or maybe it's just simplified. So Hindus created a temple to honor Lord Shiva, and they intended to mimic his home on Mount Kailasa in the Himalayan mountains. Legend has it was all Hindu king ordered the temple built after he prayed to Shiva to save his wife from sickness. So all these things are not just set there. So dynamite was invented in 1866 and black powder explosives in the 10th century. So it was all manpower. Yep, brute force. Just brute force. So, like, they're not just sit there. That piece, that leg is attached to this rock because it was all one piece at one point. That just it just blows my mind. The architect started from the top of the mountain, worked downward to carve the structure. The painstaking process removed more than 200,000 tons of volcanic rock between 757 and 783 AD. According to archaeologists, the temple is one of 34 caves in the area carved from solid rock. Other similar caves date back as early as 300 BC. So if I understand the terminology, and we're going to go back. Yep, Robert's right. Robert, are you jumping ahead, son? You're just not pulling this stuff right off the top of your head. You're getting ahead of the teacher. So 757 and 783 AD, as I recall, as I was told, went to county school. They may have changed all this hoopla around. But AD is after death, after the death of Christ, Jesus. BC is before Christ, before he was born. Am I right, Craig? That's the way you understood it from your schooling days. So, what is this? Wait a minute. Let me do something real quick. I got my phone lines up, maybe. So if anybody's feeling froggy, just leap on over here and call me up. Okay. So, 300 years before Christ, they were doing this. They were carving in caves or carving out caves and making these temples. So 300 years to go to ground zero when Jesus was born. And then another 783 years after he died. So he died when he was in his 30s. So, you're talking 1,200 years, give or take. But they've been doing this thing. I mean, oh my gosh, that's just forever. Seems like they'd get tired of that. How do they have that many people that swing hammers that much all that time? In modern terms, it would take around 200 days working 24 hours per day to excavate the entire site using contemporary technology. This does not take into account the elaborate carvings all over the monolithic structure. All right, I got to know. Let's just see. Monolithic definition. Monolithic. Formed of a single large block of stone. Well, in simple terms, how much simpler could you put it? A massive differentiated other original whole. What? No. Monolithic culture. Anyway, so simple definition, formed of a single large block of stone. And that's what they're saying. So 200 days. That's less than a year. That's 24 hours. They're saying it took, 20 some years to do. So Robert's cheating. He's researching. Like I said, skipping ahead. Like monolithic slab concrete. One piece. One big old piece. The temple has a U shape and is about 150 feet deep. It would take me 20 years to dig a 150-foot deep hole in my yard. I mean, that's crazy. 3 stories tall, large stone carvings along the outer walls depict various Hindu deities. 2 internal flagstaff pillars show stories from Lord Shiva's saga. There are also enormous carvings honoring Lord Vishnu and other main Hindu deities. Almost every inch of the interior structure contains an intricate carving. Maybe they just cut guys loose and said, "This is your corner. Show me what you got." So this is why, it looks worn. It's like people sanded it smooth. The edges aren't. Maybe it's just a picture. But these are, I assume, elephants. This is probably was. What do you think? Is the Shiva? Is it a man or woman? It says Lord, which would give me an impression it's a man. But this is a centerpiece with this lady with her hands. Maybe that's just my imagination, but it looks like her hands are covering up her breasties. That's kind of what it looks like. And I guess this one's probably a girl. I'm not sure about this one. I'm thinking that's a girl too. But she's all sassy and smiley over here. She got some attitude the way you got her hips all stick out there and everything. You see, all these are carved. And this stuff on it, notice the white plaster in some spots. Later on, it reads that they covered some of these with white plaster to make it look like snow. Because they wanted it like it was in the Himalaya mountains. So if this was up high in the mountains, all this would be covered by snow, and they wanted to give it that impression. Ever tried to bust limestone with a sledgehammer, let alone granite or whatever that stuff is? It's volcanic rock, and I assume it's pretty hard. But no, I haven't worked on the chain gang in my lifetime. So that's what they used to do in the yard, right? Bust gravel with sledgehammers. Well, volcanic rock. I mean, I don't guess it's like volcanic rock like you put in the bottom of your grill. It doesn't look to be that porous. Let's see what it says. Towards the top, you see carvings of elephants that point your way down. On the bottom of the main building, it appears as if an army of huge stone elephants are holding up the entire temple. The elephants surround a 100-foot tall pillar that appears to serve as the main edifice of the temple complex. Covers more square footage than the Parthenon in Athens. Shows somehow civilizations in India came and went without everyone noticing this magnificent art until 1682. I mean, how do you hide something like that? Okay, Shiva was a he. Balsat granite is a different beast. Did the lady have 4 arms? Better to hold you and hug you with? So in 1682, this Muslim, I can't pronounce his name, ordered the temple destroyed so he could erase all traces of it. Despite 3 years and 1,000 men, the temple endured. The rock was simply too hard to demolish, even though artisans used only hammers, chisels, and picks to construct it. Current day structure is mostly black volcanic rock. Back when it was built, architects ordered the sculptures covered in white plaster to give it the illusion of snow. This made the temple appear as if it was in the Himalayan mountains. Visitors can still see some of the white plaster today. All right, so archaeologists estimate there are more than 30 million Sanskrit carvings that have yet to be translated. If experts can find a way to unlock the hidden meaning of the language, it would make the temple one of the most valuable historic artifacts on Earth. 30 million. I mean, let's see what that looks like. Let's see. Well, an ancient Indo-European language of India in which the Hindu scriptures and classical Indian epic poems are written and from which many northern Indian languages are derived. So I thought it was like, hieroglyphs, that it was these pictures, that's what they were calling them. So this is one of many stories. So maybe this is just me jumping to the conclusion that that's Sanskrit, whatever. Surrounding cave, the carving much older. There are 5 shrines inside the temple that pay homage to the greatest of Hindu gods. No matter how long it took or how old it is, the temple is truly a marvel to behold. So, I mean, it was just mind-boggling. Of course, any kind of art to me is mind-boggling because, I doodle and I don't doodle well. So anybody that can create something out of nothing just from their, putting an idea from their head onto any kind of medium just blows my mind that you can do that. But that's just crazy to think that at some point that was just all smooth rock. All smooth rock. Single rock. Let's see. Cora. I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at really. How are the temples of Ellora carved from a single rock? Uh, Kailash Temple is the 16th cave and is one of the 32 cave temples and monasteries formed the Ellora Caves. As per historical records, it was built by the 8th century King Krishna. Wow, there's a big aerial picture of it. So do you think when this was all together, this was a cave? Because they said it was a big rock in a cave, which, is crazy. Some pretty good pictures. Oh, dude lost his trunk. That guy said 18 years. See, some of it's fallen off. Look like the bottom of his leg's gone. This side of his leg's gone here. This face is gone. But I mean, they were trying to destroy it. So, the Muslim king, they apparently did do some damage. See, all the heads are knocked off these little chicks down here. But now these people are really intact. Really intact. That's crazy. There's more of the stories. Place a bottle in your parked car's tire if traveling alone. All right, whatever. I was trying to see where nipple piercing stayed intact. Well, they didn't want to bust off his best feature, I guess. I was wondering if some of the pictures of these other. Let's look. Wikipedia is going to take us to the caves. Well, there's supposed to be 32 of them. Let's see them. Cave 29. Huh. Well, see, now that's pretty cool. Carved them in the side. Got the rock going around that way. Cave 16. Still don't see how they say these are caves, dude. Is that a goose or a duck? There's a little mini-me. Wikipedia is not accurate most of the time. Yeah, but it seems like it's a pretty good place to, I don't know, easy. I'm going to say easy. Not pretty good, but easy place to find things. So this is one we were looking at. There's an artist's rendering of those pictures, back to those stories. I assume her legs broke off. Hmm. The chunks are falling off. That's just crazy right here. That little, I don't know, boo-boo, what do you call it? See, maybe this is the way he started out from the top. And he laid it out, drew it in the sand. This is cave number 5, but you know what I mean. Well, let's cut all this out in here, but leave all this. And then once you get this all shaped, then we're going to dig out these places. I don't know. Pretty crazy. Boy or girl? See, that's just, oh man, look at that. That's wild. See, it's all starting to weather, which, hey man, you would expect, right? All those carvings. Those are paintings there. Somebody's polished them up pretty good. Somebody's been rubbing their hands all over this one. Kept it nice and shiny. Well, that don't even look, that looks plastic. It looks plastic. That means something to somebody. I don't know what. That's a dancer there. Broke off his legs. Wow, on the ceiling. That's pretty cool. Iceberg. Huh. All right. Well, that's the second one in the series. Now, I'm thinking I want to try to find, and maybe it may not be what I think it is, but I think there's places in the United States in these canyons. Maybe I'm thinking about it. Does anybody know? I'll look it up. In Indiana Jones, in one of his, where they go down this channel in the rock, and it opens up, and there's this huge, like, building front carved into the face of this cliff. Trust in AI. There is technology. They must have had some bodacious hammers, right, to do that. So does anybody know what I'm talking about? It may not be in the United States, but Indiana Jones went down this river channel, cut into the rock. Maybe it was sandstone, and look up, and boom, it's right there in the face of it. But I was thinking that might be my next one, because if that one fits into the category, I love the whiz out of that thing. Let's see if I can find out what it is. Yeah, that's not it. But hey, look at that. Cliff Palace, USA. It's in Colorado. It's the largest cliff dwelling in North America. The ancestral Puebloans built the palace into the sandstone cliff to escape the changing climate of Colorado. Is this it? Petra, ancient city of rock. All right, maybe this will be my next one. Let's not get too far ahead. So, all right, it's been 40 minutes. So I think we're going to cut that one off here. And like I said, this is one I first saw. Thought it was just unbelievable the way it looked. And just was wondering, man, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? Let's get this thing off to the right here too. Number 15. So, appreciate everybody coming, chiming in, staying up late, doing the duty, keeping keeping it real. Get that out of the way, so now we get back to me. Me. It's all about me. Marsha. All right. Oh, I have a hell of a commute. It'd be cool, you know, and if you lived in a cave all the time, basically what would happen if you cut your, place back into the rock, it'd be just like living in a cave all the time, which would be kind of cool. So anyway, like I said, I appreciate everybody coming. We'll cut this one off, and I think that's the next one going to be what we just looked at. Maybe the one in Colorado. Might be another place. I don't know. Might come up with something else. But anyway, thank you. And if you're watching this off YouTube, like, subscribe. Robert's got a sinkhole. That might be a good story one day. You can tell us about your sinkhole. Maybe a picture or two. I know what we could do. Get your GoPro tied on to the end of the rope. Drop it down in the sinkhole. But the thing about a sinkhole is you can't, you put something there, you come back in a week and it's gone. So it's not like a really hole, right? It's not like throwing stuff down in a outhouse hole. So I don't know. I'm just not sure how sinkholes work. Maybe we'll do a story on sinkholes one day. How does a sinkhole? Is it really a sinkhole? I don't know. Where does it go? Maybe it goes into another universe or pops out in China. You never know. So like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on. I appreciate you subscribing because, like I said, I have 93. Appreciate you watching. Check out my pizza casserole video and make your own. It's pretty tasty, really. My Italian sausage that I got really made it. Filled it with 2 trunk cabs and a large freezer. I bet it ain't full. I guarantee it's not full. There'll be more room later. All right, everybody. Say bye-bye to your truck cabs and your freezer. See you. Probably